Hello and welcome to the Shrub Shack. That was Paradise City, Guns N' Roses, absolute legend of a song. Classic on Z103.
Classic tune.
On Z103. Hi.
Hello, Aaron.
Well, my name is Aaron Shrub, and
my name is David Sheehan. I was just going to compliment you for that lovely music fade down. That was a very professional DJ of you. Good job.
I had to bring it down and stop it. I think that would have been the best way to sort of electrify and start the Shrub Shack. You know about the Shrub Shack. You know, we're definitely shrubbing in the shack. Wait, what?
One thing I wanted to talk to you about in the Shrub Shack is that the Shrub Shack is obviously a pun on the Love Shack, which I think is a song by R.E.M. I have a very closely tied memory with this song, and that is that when I was a young lad...
There you go.
Ah, thank you. When I was a young lad, my sister used to take me to Hennessy's pub in Tralee.
Yeah.
And when we went into Hennessy's pub, I was like, I was 6. She would always put Love Shack by R.E.M. on the jukebox. Mm-hmm. And maybe it's not by R.E.M., but she would play that on the jukebox. And in this pub, there was 2 glass top tables, which are like old arcade machines that you could put your beer on. And I would play on these arcade machines Bubble Bobble and Ghosts and Goblins. And if you've never played those games, they are
and you had your beer.
Hard. Well, no, I had like a Coca-Cola because I think I was like 6.
Okay.
But I could never beat those games because those games were rock hard.
Like well, when you're 6, you wouldn't. It's hard to play games. I would find 6, it really hard to play.
You're pretty crap
games.
Anyway.
Yeah, pretty much.
But like Ghosts and Goblins, even to this day, is a ridiculous hard game.
Oh, okay.
And I remember once, and all this was going on to the tune of the Love Shack. The guy came and took the money out of the machine, but he left the side panel open, and he showed me that if you press a button, you get a credit. And he was like, look, I'll give you 5 credits there. And I was like, oh, thanks. And he got up with the money, went to bring the money back to the bar, left the panel open. I was hammering on that button like I was going for a high score. I gave myself like 1,000,000 credits in Bubble Bobble as a little 6-year-old. Still couldn't beat the game.
Okay.
Those games are so hard.
Oh, right. Okay.
Do you, Aaron, have any songs you closely associate with memories from your early life?
Yeah. I mean, there's loads of songs, just like the one that was just playing there, Guns N' Roses. Paradise City, well, Guns N' Roses in general, all the songs.
Keep talking.
And it is one of those things, right? It is one of those things. Guns N' Roses definitely was a childhood favorite of mine. Any kind of rock song, to be honest. Like Elvis Presley was a big one, and many other like different kinds of rock songs because my dad used to play in a band and rock band and stuff like that, so any kind of rock stuff is quite nostalgic for me. Anyone's from like, you know, when you're a kid you always sing those songs, but like, you know, those ones from like the 90s and 80s and stuff like that one Chameleon
Calmer Chameleon, yes. Yeah. We're talking about that from the Culture Club. Before we get into that, we just had an announcement in from our producer and personal life coach James McAuliffe, who pointed out that the Love Shack is by the B-52s and not by R.E.M. And he correctly assumed that wrong, didn't we? Correctly assumed. Oh, it was just me, Aaron. It was my mistake.
Oh my God.
That I was actually thinking of "Shiny Happy People" by R.E.M.
Oh, okay.
Which is a song you can confuse with the Love Shack. But as a child, I had a record.
Yeah.
Called the Smarties Disco Party.
So wait, what was the Love Shack?
The Love Shack was by the B-52s.
B-52s. Okay.
Yeah.
Go on. Keep going on.
I had a record called the Smarties Disco Party. And that would get played at every one of my and my sister's birthday parties. And one of the songs on that was Culture Club's Karma Chameleon.
Yeah?
And Brown Girl in the Ring,
I used to sing that. I used to love those songs back in the day.
Those were the songs of all of my birthday parties. And in particular for musical chairs, which is a highly competitive sport at small children's birthday parties.
Musical chairs, oh my God, that brings back so many. I remember those kind of songs, all those like YMCA, all those, Jesus Christ, all those songs I think bring, like, that's why we can't, like, I mean, obviously when we're in the club we want to sing like those kind of clubby songs, those kind of ones there, but you know, when like a YMCA disco-y music comes on, everyone's like, do you know what, we love it. It's childhood memories. Like,
there's a few things as good as like, Karma Chameleon.
I mean, do you know, we not all the time, but like every now and again, Karma Chameleon, every single time I'm singing it, and you'll be like, wow, the hell, like I'm like, Karma Chameleon.
It comes and goes. It comes and goes.
What did they? Who sang them?
That was Culture Club, which was a band featuring Boy George.
Okay, so Culture. Okay.
With a C. Culture Club with a C.
Oh, a C? Culture. Going past B. I'm just trying to see that there. If we got it on the system, I'm sure we do.
if you're going to check for that, you should probably do it while you're playing a song, because you are not able to multitask looking at the Radiomation spreadsheet and talking to me.
I do apologise, man. I do apologise. Do you know what? I literally went and like found Shrub Shack. Love Shack. Love Shack. And like I'm going to get that.
Are you going to play Love Shack by the B-52s?
That got my nostalgia up. I don't know. I might.
Do you want to play that?
I might. Do you want to?
Yes, I do.
Oh yeah. I think that'd be an interesting one. Love Shack by the B-52s on Z103.
Welcome back to the Shrub Shack. My name is David Sheehan, and I'm here with the eponymous Aaron Shrub. We were just saying as well that after our show at 12:30, it's Dickie Travers with his hour of epic music.
Ooh.
So definitely tune into that one.
An hour of full-fledged Ricky.
I'll have to see if he actually maintains any Spotify playlists, because he has excellent taste in music, and I would like to listen to that outside of the broadcast hours of this show.
Ooh, that sounds like a good plan. Oh.
Yeah. We were talking off mic about favourite television shows.
Yeah.
Aaron, can you tell me what your favourite television show is?
Oh, like, Jesus, loads of different ones. But, I mean, an old, good, nostalgic one for me would be The Only Fools and Horses.
That is a very English choice.
It is. But come on, everyone loves that.
Yeah.
Like, you can't even deny that. Like, it's an old classic. Got Del Boy and Rodney.
What do Del Boy and Rodney do? Explain it to an alien. What is this show?
Well, this show is basically it's like a cultural sort of back in the day. It's like a look. You could say at the time it was being made, it was basically trying to represent a particular type of people, which is like the Cockney people in a sense, or Cockney London, west, sort of that not West End, but kind of the back streets where the houses are, the old, the people,
so like
bit of the accent on, a bit of lovely jabblies,
kind of Baba Job guys.
Yeah, people that like Del Boy, you just wheeling dealing, like gets a bit of stuff. Might be a bit dodgy here and there, but like who cares? And he sells it on it's a bit of like he's flipping the money, trying to make his million.
So it's about schemes.
And then his brother Rodney is just kind of like being like pulled along because they're he basically Del Boy and Rodney are brothers, but like they're like their mum died and they had like no one else except like their uncle. The uncle's just a really old man. He's like kind of senile a little bit, but not senile. A little bit, just a bit like he sits back in his own ways and he sits back on his TV and watches his TV.
Does the senile uncle make their plans worse?
No, he's just a moan. Like.
Do you have a favourite episode of Only Fools and Horses? Or a particular scheme that they tried to do that you thought was the best one? If I was going to look and watch one episode of this, which one should I check out?
I mean, they tried to sell a Buddha statue that they thought was loads of money, and they got absolutely done in by other scam artists that sold them the sort of the doll on the cheap and said it. But like they thought it got it in a charity shop. They were like, this is, and then they went to like some people that basically sold it to them, but they didn't realize that. And then they said, oh, this is the Buddha. This is made out of crystal and this is extremely expensive. And
I hope you're not doing an Asian accent.
No, but like it was Indian actually.
Okay.
They went around and they went to some dude and they gave a price like a couple grand, and like they were going around and they were getting loads of money out, and they had to sort of like get that item, and then they had to, so they ended up having to sell loads of their like items just to get money because they had to like do something else, and it was this thing. So they ended up going to this guy and to sell this item to, because it was like it was an heirloom, actually. That was what it was, an heirloom, but this was the whole scam. And it was like they ended up going around and they sold it. They were trying to sell it to the dude, and and essentially, yeah, it was actually a ringleader thing. Like the person they were trying to sell it to was actually the one that
started the whole thing.
Yeah, in the restaurant.
So it was kind of a loop.
Yeah, and the little item was actually a really cheap knockoff. And they had
loads of them.
They had loads of them in the background.
So I'm guessing it usually ends with them not actually making any money.
Yeah, they lost loads of money on that one. That was just hilarious.
That was interesting. I'll have to check that out. My favorite television show is probably from back in the day. I don't know if you've even heard of this. Stargate SG-1, which was
a good one.
Television series based on the okay kind of weird film Stargate.
Yeah.
Stargate, the film, was kind of a weird hybrid of like Lawrence of Arabia and like some sort of space travel thing. It's like
Star Trek.
Yeah, it's like a sci-fi film that takes place on a desert planet. But the TV show,
it does feel more realistic that compared to Star Trek.
It does. It does. The reason it does, and it's one of the reasons I like it, is that it's contemporary, because Stargate takes place in the present.
Yeah.
Whereas Star Trek takes place in the future.
Yeah.
So in Stargate, they're using regular guns, regular computers.
Which makes sense, like. Yeah,
walkie-talkies and stuff. And there's a great moment where in one of the episodes, one of the guys goes, "Oh, we found this plant that could basically cure all diseases. But we can't talk about it because, all this is classified."
Yeah.
And then one of them says, "I'm not even going to get to go on Oprah." And then one of the aliens goes, "What is an Oprah?" So there's lots of great contemporary jokes like that. And one of my favorite episodes of that show was a time loop episode, because you said that your favorite Only Fools and Horses was kind of a loop where they're trying to sell the Buddha and it all came out to start, where two of the characters are trapped in a time loop and they experience the same day over and over and over and over again, much like Groundhog Day. And it's a sci-fi show, but like that episode was 100% a comedy. It was so funny.
Was it just funny? Yeah,
they're trying to like solve the time loop and get out of it, but there's some days where they just take the day off and they're turning on the Stargate and they're just like firing golf balls into it. It's like, we're not working today. But yeah, that was really good. And I like that show so much that I actually, if you remember VHS tapes, I would record that. I used to watch it on, I think, Network 2, and then I watched it on Sky 1. And at the end of one of the season finales, there was like a to be continued cliffhanger. And I would sit back in my chair going, this show got really good. I wish I'd recorded this from the very beginning. And then the Sky 1 announcer says, that's the end of Stargate. It's going to come back sometime next year. Starting on Monday, we're going to show it every weekday, starting from the beginning. And I was like, oh, I can tape it.
Yeah.
So I would record it every day. And I had this gigantic Stargate tape collection. And I used to loan it out to my friends and my friends' parents. And one of my friends said it was the first time that he did a box set, like, binge watching.
Yeah.
They would get my Stargate tapes.
Oh, okay.
I think it was like 6 episodes per tape.
Yeah.
And it was just this huge stack of tapes, like as tall as a person. And I would just loan it out to everybody. So yeah, I loved Stargate. And like I recorded all of it. But then eventually, like, I just threw them all out because, DVDs and MP4s and all the files now, the amount of stuff you can fit in a USB stick. Like, I don't need a stack of VHS tapes that I can't physically lift.
VHS tapes are kind of old school now. Like, you can't do anything with it.
Yeah. So if you ever get a chance, definitely check out Stargate SG-1. One of my favorites. And you recommend people check out Only Fools and Horses.
Yes. That was a childhood one of mine. Does bring back memories. Like, Stargate was one. I think Star Trek was also one I used to love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been meaning to go back and check out the
I just need
Trek.
Reminding of shows, because I just haven't watched TV in a long time. I do watch other things, like I binge watch stuff like
that was actually,
but I don't count that as a TV show.
Yeah, the first show that I liked as a kid that wasn't a cartoon was Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Yeah,
and I think it was Data that drew me in. I was like, oh, Data's cool. The spaceship thing is cool.
You know the one Ninja Warrior?
I don't know Ninja Warrior.
Okay, after the show. The show.
I'll make a note here. Ninja Warrior. We can talk about it on another episode of the Shrub Shack.
Oh no, no, you would like Ninja Warrior, but I can't believe you haven't watched it. So yeah, that was the end of the Shrub Shack. So that was quite interesting. We've got a few questions in there, especially with the news in the hour with Linda McAuliffe and James. So at the end of the day, guys, that was the Shrub Shack. At the end, we didn't have too much time, but we got there in the end.
Do be sure to listen into Dickie Travers' hour-long music show. Excellent music up ahead.
Oh my God, the best music. The best absolute grand music that you've ever experienced in your life. Come in and tune into Ricky's show.
What are you signing us out with now, Aaron?
I'm showing you out of the logical song, Scooters, on Z103.